We need to plan Black Friday. We need 70 pieces of content. We need to film a summer campaign. All this stuff has to happen in the next 4 weeks. But now it's like, hold up, I'm supposed to be having a baby.
That baby's coming. Today I sit down with Georgia Patten, founder of Bored George, 8 months pregnant and living proof that your worst year can birth your biggest breakthrough.
A couple of weeks after finding out we were pregnant, we lost our 18 store stockist. That was where I went, shit. And just in the last 4 weeks, we have had the best BAU month we have ever had. It's a fuck yeah moment.
She lost her safety net, learned expensive lessons about second chances, and discovered that when people throw shade, sometimes you just need better sunglasses.
I'm so uncomfortable. I just want to meet her. I just want her here. But at the same time, I'm like, stay in there. I need as much time as we possibly can. We need to continue this momentum.
This one's for every founder who's tired of polite networking and pretty little lies about how hard building a business and a human can be.
It's just a different way of thinking about business now. Is when we're having fun as a business, that's when we've had the biggest successes.
Hello, here we are. When I was thinking of where to start, like the word that kept coming up for me is like, building. You're building a human, you're building a business, you're building your podcast in a different way. How the hell? How the hell? That's a full question. How the hell? Question mark.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I have always had a mentality where I like to be busy, and that's probably how the hell is the second something feels a little bit mundane or boring. I like to throw something else in there. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's a thing.
But it's almost just like, why not? Like, I'm never going to be this young again.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that, you know?
True.
Like, there's never going to be a better time to do most of that before kids come. Obviously, she'll be
How
here.
many weeks? Yeah. There's a lot of stuff to do in the next
there's
4
a lot of
weeks.
stuff to do in the next month. But yeah, my mentality was everything before that was there's no better time. Like, we didn't have many responsibilities, so why not kind of risk it then?
So what gives you the drive? You finished high school, you're like, fuck this, I'm going traveling. Like, how do you go from that at that age to building an empire? Because that's what you're doing.
Oh, empire's a big word.
No pressure.
No pressure. None of it was ever intentional, I don't think. Yeah, none of it was ever intentional. I left high school being one of the only people in my group not to get into university, which I look back now and was a blessing because I don't think I wanted to go to university.
It must have been a blow at the time.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, I did go for interviews and I applied for something that I don't think I was 100% keen on doing. But not getting in was kind of a bit of a wake-up call. So I was the only one working full-time, kind of taking a gap year. And then just a few things happened in life where I was like, I'm young, I'm not really enjoying things. I think I was 19 or maybe just turned 19. There's got to be something else out there. So I think within 4 months, I said to Mum, I'm going to move to London. Yeah. And she did the same at 19. So I think I've never spoken to her about it, but she probably thought this is not a good idea, but how can I judge when I did the same?
Yeah. And probably she thought this might not be a good idea because I know what I did.
Oh, yeah.
What I got up to.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Or maybe that is why it is a good idea. I mean, we were just talking about the fact that, my 14-year-old is on a 3-month exchange, so not quite, moved abroad in the States. And at 14, and I was talking to a friend of mine, sharing my concerns, and she was saying, well, it kind of reminds me of her mum, because I moved abroad and went to uni in a different country at 16.
There you go.
And then I was looking at it, and I have a son who is 16, who's turning 17, and I was like, if you would have to move abroad right now and go to uni you'd be dead. So I can imagine how your mom was feeling back then.
Yep. And I still don't know how they survived with me doing what I did over there. I mean, the calls that they got at 3 a.m. my time, that they'd have to pick up at 2 p.m. their time.
Oh,
but it threw me in the deep end. I had to find full-time work. I had to flat. And this is just another thing. I just seem to put myself in uncomfortable positions.
Yeah, well, it's the age-old cliche, but that is where growth happens. Somehow, we may have been like, twins separated at birth, a couple of years apart. Like I do the same, kind of jump out of the plane and build a parachute on the way down. We were talking about this before. You have a podcast, and we were talking about how this podcast got started. And I was like, I don't know. I just bought some stuff and then, made every mistake known to man.
Yeah.
Every technical error, every non-technical error. And looking back, actually, I was listening back to last week's episode. I think this is the first time that there is not like a full body cringe moment. But I think I celebrate those cringe moments because that means there's growth, right? Yeah. You're learning. So off the deep end we go. You are in London. And where did that entrepreneurial kind of spark get ignited?
Do you know what? It's if I look back to London, I ended up managing physiotherapy clinics and staff within. So we had one on High Street, Kensington, and that was probably one of my first introductions to, I guess, business as such because of the role I played running the clinic. I also managed the renovation of the clinic while I was over there. And like, mind you, I was only 20, like I was still really young. And I loved the hustle and bustle. So I think without knowing it, that was potentially something that sparked a little bit of ignition. I then came back and did a similar job in New Zealand for two lovely boys who had 3 clinics, which I managed for them.
Right. And
I got to start to see the inner workings of how businesses are run and, the back end of accounting, marketing, all that sort of stuff. So again, without knowing it, I was probably being introduced to business through that. But I was listening to a podcast and they said, what was your earliest experience you can remember of entrepreneurship? And I had never thought about this at all.
Tell me.
But obviously something is in my bones because we used to rip lavender off bushes, wrap it up in Glad wrap and sell it to all the neighbours.
Just you bunch of scammers.
For 50 cents. And over the summer, I would set up my little braiding stall.
Yes.
Just in the batch. And kids would pay me $2 to braid their hair with coloured yarn. So when you think of that, it's like I was always trying to find a little bit of extra coin and find.
Exactly.
Do like you think back and you're like, oh, is that a sign?
Yeah, well, I think, it's maybe finding some extra coin. I think it's also the concept of making something out of nothing. I think we spoke about that when we were on a call a while ago, when around if nothing else, if everything falls away tomorrow, that you have it within you to build something, not just something, like something, out of absolutely nothing. And
You've got the skills.
You've got the skills and more, it's actually, fuck the skills. Like, skills. I heard the other day, and this really stuck with me, the difference between knowledge and wisdom is embodiment. So skills is me sitting by the side of the pool, reading on how to swim. Experience is the embodiment, is the lived experience that you cannot get from a book.
Yeah.
So
I'm full of it then.
So tell us about that, because first of all, your brand is amazing.
Thank you.
Your personal brand, like I always, I was saying, I'm not a girly girl. I'm okay with that. I never got on the kind of aesthetic Instagram train, and I'm also okay with that. But I look with so much just joy at people who know how to do it, and it looks beautiful and perfectly imperfect. I'm sure that behind the posts and the beautiful sunglasses and the stores and the radio deals, it's not all unicorns and rainbows.
No.
Okay.
Never.
Thank fuck. Otherwise,
what would you say? Yeah, of course, it's just easy.
It's just rainbows. I don't know what you're talking about. What's wrong with you? Can you tell me about the moment that felt the most almost like deceiving in relation to the dream that you were building, where you're like, fuck, this is not what I signed up for?
This whole year.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. Honestly, like, let's talk about this year, because like, that's what this is about.
Yeah. So this year we've turned 6, and that's basically from the day that I started the Instagram. So it's not where I went full time. It's not where I incorporated the business. It's from the day that I literally hit live on Instagram and said, I'm going to be doing something with this.
Stop taking business birth control.
Yeah, I'm just not sure what this is going to be. Like, it wasn't going to be a business, but 6. And I'm not going to say that those 6 years or 5 years were easy. Like, not easy at all, but nothing has compared to this year.
They were the warming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
In hindsight,
they were
like,
warming me up.
Stretching.
Totally. Like, everyone's like, survive till 25. What is it? Something to 24. It was like after COVID, and now it's just survive 25. Like, it just keeps on going. And so we've hit speed bump after speed bump this year. And we can go into that if you want to. But
yeah, I mean, I'd love, without, I think the details of the specific speed bumps aren't always as relevant. What the stories that I think are so important to share, lives for everyone, and especially for those who get in the arena, and often without an armor, because we just go and then we see, and that's effective, not always fun. But I think it's really important to talk about those moments of what that really does to you. Yeah. And because it looks all nice and shiny on the outside. And I hear so many people talking about, you have your own business, and you have the freedom, and you have the this and that, and you have the money and the. And as
the money, who's the money? Where are these people?
But like, seriously, I know from my own experience, I've been doing the entrepreneurship game for like 50. I keep saying 15 years, but I think I've been saying 15 years for about 3 years. So you do the math. And in all different shapes and sizes, from now working with a very small remote team to having a team of 50 all over the world, having a multi-million-dollar multinational business, which looked amazing, nearly killed me. And wondering how I was going to pay the bills and everything in between. Yeah. And even though I know that scope, I'm very familiar with that range. Yeah. And I used to run a marketing agency, for crying out loud. So I know how you spin a story. Mm-hmm. And I'm a trauma-informed coach. So I know how to take care of my mental health. Still, there are moments where I look at that and feel not enough. Yeah. So I think the speed bumps, in whatever way, shape, or form you want to share them, are also where really the beauty lies, in connection and in learning.
I think a lot of lessons have come out of the past 12 months. And this time, I feel like I'm ready to listen to those lessons. They may have happened in some shape or form before, and I say I'm not going to do that again, or I'm going to learn from them, and then I don't seem to do that. For example, one is giving people second chances. I no longer do that. I have done that too many times. I have been burnt both in personal life and in business. Yeah. And I feel like it's made me a stronger person, and it's made me look for the red flags in both employees or contractors or friends earlier, and not give the second chances that I normally would. And I think that also leans into following my gut, which is the hardest thing to say to somebody. Just follow your gut. Oh, excuse me. What is a gut? How do I follow it? It's so hard. But when I look back at the lessons from this year, my gut told me not to do certain things. Yeah. And I listened to other people who told me to do it.
Or you mentally override.
Oh, totally. Or I start to believe that maybe I'm not good enough to do it myself and I need to hire somebody to do it, or second guessing that I've taken on too much and so why not bring in an agency, or, you just start making up these excuses. But when I look back at how I felt before, let's just use an agency for an example. Yeah. When I look back at how my gut was feeling and was telling me in December before I joined, every bone in my body said not to do it.
Right.
And if I had listened, it would have saved me a lot of stress, grief, money.
Yes.
And just learnings within the business. We're coming out of it the other side even freaking better. Like we've just had.
Well, that's it, right?
We're coming out more educated, but.
It was an expensive lesson.
It's an expensive lesson, right? And I had to go through that to learn to trust my gut again. And I think in the 6 months that have ensued from then, it has really been a game changer. The second my gut says don't do something, I'm like, cool, done. The second my gut says this person isn't right, cool, done.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
Sister. Like I'm a embodied entrepreneurship coach. Like I am all about the fact that we as a society, first of all, we live neck up. Everything mind over matter. Everything is like up here is hyperinflated, and intuition, gut, like somatic wisdom or body. What is that even? Don't you dare say that to someone. Emotions. Oh, gross. Especially as a female founder, we're basically raised in an environment where we have to shut down our most innate superpowers.
Exactly. You've got to learn them again after being told not to trust them.
Exactly. And it's, this is what I do with my clients all the time. It's such an important thing. And just like, if there's anyone like listening that is recognizing that they're repeating these patterns, or that they kind of feel disconnected from their body, from their gut, from their intuition, I mean, I've got a plethora of exercises. What was the way, besides just face planting and getting burnt?
That's face planting. I could not have put it in a better way.
I'm sorry. But what are the ways in which you now consciously strengthen that muscle? Because it is like going to the gym and learning, first of all, to listen, because it feels like far away whispers, because we're not used to listening. And then, okay, if we hear them, maybe we listen, but we don't honor them, we override them. So how do you practice that without it always having to be in a situation where there's so much at stake?
It's almost sad when I have to say this out loud, but my New Year's resolution in 2024 was not to trust people. Okay, so like second guess everyone, second guess their intentions. On the 16th of January last year, I got burnt by a specific company. And, the year continued. This year, that was my goal again. Now I feel like I live by that. And it's such a pessimistic way to look at the world. But if I'm meeting somebody, I do second guess their intentions, what they want from me, what they're trying to get out of it. If they're really an authentic and transparent person, if I can trust them, I am dialing in every single thing that person says, the way they're acting, the way they're interacting with other people, if they're giving them
says everything.
If they're giving them the time, if they are acting in a certain way with me and not with others. And it's a negative way to look at the world, to think that everybody has a negative intention. But with some of the things that have happened in the past 2 years, it's almost a protective mechanism for me personally and for the business.
Yeah.
And one day I might get over that and become a bit more open, but it's working, honestly. It's working. And
it's a guilty until proven innocent strategy.
It is. And it's so sad.
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense. Again, from lived experience. And it makes sense that you then come up with mechanisms to protect yourself. I think the key is when you start practicing that hearing and listening and honoring in small ways. Like this is something I do with my clients all the time. It sounds ridiculous, but micro decisions that have like, you know, zero impact, like coffee or tea, left or right, this, and you don't think, you stop, you breathe, you feel. And that's literally how you strengthen that relationship with your gut, where it becomes louder, where it becomes clearer. And you can start practicing it in a little bit more like, okay, do I say yes to this activity or no, or to this person? And I think you get to a point, because I hear you speak and I recognize so much of how for a very long time I did life and business. And like you're saying, it worked. It worked up until a point, right? Because there is also so much magic, so much potential beyond what we can control. And this is controlling it. So I think for me, the switch came when I practiced that in little ways, in bigger ways. There's so many somatic and nervous system practices, but started to trust myself and my discernment again. And realizing that you're right. Not everyone will have the best intentions. Not everyone will be like clear in their communications and don't have other agendas. You also don't know the people won't hurt you, even the people who love you the most.
Exactly.
The only thing you do know is that you have what it takes to navigate whatever comes from that. And I think that opens that door a little from, you know, it's a fuck no to my motto is, it's either, there's no such thing as a fuck maybe. So it's either a full body fuck yes, and I feel it and I'm excited and I'm like giddy and like a child. Strong no. Or it's just a no or a no for now. But there's no such thing as, oh yeah, fuck maybe. That doesn't exist. So if any gray is just a no or a let me think about it.
That's such a good way of putting it.
And because I think, you know, especially as a founder, because that's another thing we were speaking about, it can be quite lonely. And especially with that door with 17 padlocks and a moat and crocodiles and snipers.
It can be.
It can be. Yeah. But this year, speed bump after speed bump. I mean, I love the analogy. And bump. Tell me about the decision, to what degree you can call it a decision, to, in the midst of all this chaos and growth, grow human. God, the word plays are just, it's just raining. How was that for you? Did it feel scary? Was there doubts around that? Because it's been a while for me, right? I had my kids very young, and I forget sometimes, especially, and I built my business like pushing the stroller with the foot while trying to type emails. So there was never a moment where there was an established business and I was like, confidently, do I do this, and can both exist? But I can imagine those are big questions.
Massive questions, and it played on my mind so much once we decided to start trying, was where's the business sitting at? How's it looking? And in December last year, I mean, we'd had the best year that we'd ever had. We had bigger retailers than we'd ever had. We'd grown 150% in e-commerce just in the past year prior. We had made the decision to take on full-time staff rather than just having part-time or contractors. So, you know, we were on that path to pretty much, you know, be able to
take over the world.
Yeah, like have someone I trust to run the business while I'm gone and, you know, have part-time staff over summer. We'd that plan locked in. Come falling pregnant, must have been mid-February.
Valentine's Day.
Well, we lost our biggest stockist pretty much a couple of weeks after finding out we were pregnant. The week of my full-time staff member starting, we lost our 18-store stockist. And that was where I went, shit,
Yeah.
You know, like
because in terms of I don't need like exact percentages, but that was, I can assume, a big chunk of the
that covered
revenue.
my full-timer's salary, right?
Yes.
Like even just, you know, it covered that times 4, 5, 6. And to lose that money, that income that you rely on year after year, when you have a lease that you signed on to in August prior to be able to hold the stock for the stockist and pack the orders for the stockist, you know, like you make all these decisions around this expectation of cash flow, that cash flow gets taken away from you. I mean, the panic in that week was intense.
Oh God, and
Newly pregnant, you know, this baby's coming, whether we have this stockist or not. So it's basically just been, what are we on, 7 months, 8 months of figuring out what our steps are to get things rolling again. And as I said, so many speed bumps have happened in between then, and it has been one of the hardest years with the amount of outgoings we have within the business. And just in the last 4 weeks, we have had the best BAU month we have ever had. Ever.
Fuck yeah.
Exactly. And it's a fuck yeah moment.
Yeah.
But now it's like, hold up, I'm supposed to be having a baby in the next however long.
Yeah, that baby's coming.
And we need to continue this momentum. Like now, it's now. We go hard now. We continue what we're doing. Yeah. So it's the stress. I said to my partner last night, God, I wish she comes early. I'm so uncomfortable, you know. I'm so uncomfortable. I just want to meet her. I just want her here. But at the same time, I'm like, stay in there. I need as much time as we possibly can, because we need to plan Black Friday. We need 70 pieces of content. We need to film a summer campaign. All this stuff has to happen in the next 4 weeks to continue up this momentum that we have worked so freaking hard for. Like when I tell you, we've worked so hard over the past couple of months, it has been insane. Yeah, my employee is just a godsend. That's the stress of this year with a baby on the way, is that there's been so many unforeseen changes, both positive and negative, and it's just chaos. It's figured out. So before it was, I'll take mat leave and I'll just run the ads from home. Now it's, I'll take a little bit of mat leave and I will stay on my computer and run ads and create content and continue educating myself and run Google ads and TikTok. And, you know, it's just kind of expanded into this thing where I'm committed to getting the brand back on. I'm committed to being the best mum. How is it going to work in tandem?
Oh, my love.
The answer is it's not, but we'll find a way.
The answer is it's not, and it totally is. Because you are going to be the best mom and the business will keep running. I think the one thing, God, I feel lately, I've been in so many conversations where all of a sudden, I mean, I'm 41 years old, I'm not that old, but all of a sudden I feel like this like old, like, yes, grandma.
Let me tell you some of my wisdom.
I was on a call yesterday with an agency and you know, all in their 20s and something. And we were talking about social, and, you know, they're big on Instagram, and a big part of my following and people I interview live on LinkedIn. Now that is like, that's like ancient Egypt to them. And, you know, having those conversations, I'm like, God, I'm that old. But anyway, grandma has something to say.
Give it to me.
You will be the best mom, and the business will keep growing. But if motherhood has taught me one thing, and I've been doing that thing for about 17 years now, is that idea of like making shit happen, of controlling shit, is the biggest load of crap we're ever sold. Even in business. And
I agree.
Like, you know, because you just said, you know, everything that you thought, the expectations that you counted on, that you thought was a given.
You forecast based on the given.
Let's forecast. I mean, like, you may as well write a fairy tale.
Oh,
like
100%.
It's this. And it has its place, especially, you know, in a product-based business. But I think the more in what I learned from motherhood and the hard way, because I was white knuckling everything. But a baby will force you to let go.
I think and I think that's one thing that people say, how are you going to cope with the unknown of a baby? Like, I do like to be in control, but I think the one thing I feel confident is that I get fires thrown at me every single day and they no longer affect me.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's, okay.
I have a newborn.
Yeah.
It's my business. And
it's like just move on, get shit done and figure out a way to solve the issue.
Yes.
And that's probably a skill that's going to come in handy with the baby.
It's actually like weirdly similar. Yeah. But take me back to that moment where, because you used the word like I panicked. And I understand that because as business owners, our part of our identity is often tied into our business.
100%.
Our sense of safety and security is tied into it. So all of a sudden, all of that shifts. How did you move through that? Or how did you keep moving with the panic in tow?
Panic looks a lot different now than it did, I guess, years ago. I think years ago, panic would have been like a lot of tears and a lot of upset and a lot of stress, burnout, rashes, all of the above. Whereas I think the panic lives quite subtly within me now. And
that sounds horrible. There's just this quiet panic.
But it's not necessarily related to the business. I think it's more like an internal, it's between like my relationship with my partner, an internal, am I going to be able to play my part?
Right.
Do you know, am I building this business and actually putting the right amount into our household? He doesn't give two shits about it. Like, you know, we always play the joke that I'm the long game, he's the short. You know, he can pay the now, I'll pay the later. But when stuff like this happens, he's riding that wave with me, whether he chose to or not. And he's fully behind me and he fully backs me. And he's not stressed. He knows I can get out of whatever situations we're in. But internally, I have this guilt. I mean, the guilt that you feel. And it's, am I doing the right thing by only being able to do this and this? And, you know, working every evening and working a lot of the weekends. And I think that's the type of panic's probably an over-exaggeration. But almost that little bit of like, second guessing fear that lives within you when that sort of stuff happens.
And over time that compounds. And I think it's I'm so grateful that you have the courage to bring that up, because it is, you know, we talk about why it's important to have real conversations, because only showing the kind of hashtag I woke up like this and it's all nice and fine is dangerous. But even though we know that there are unrealistic standards put on women through society, like I'm in no way an angry feminist. Like, I mean, I shave my armpits, it's all good. But if you don't, by the way, it's also all good.
It's so funny you say that, because I just had a conversation. It's so off topic, but my leg hairs have stopped growing since being pregnant. What the hell? So, like, I don't even have to be an angry feminist anymore. There's nothing to go.
You can just be angry.
Anyway, continue.
But, it's talk about body changes. Oh my god! But like we know that what we see on the covers of magazines, what we see on TV, we see on social media is not real. We know that we all, to a degree, mask and see parts of each other's lives. So, and whilst we know it, and whilst we know that we are being constantly sold through, be it media, through religion, culture, society, we're constantly, especially as women, being subtly reminded that we're not enough.
Yes.
We are too big, too thin, too old, too young. And even though we know this, right?
Yeah.
We're having high functioning,
we're our own
women.
biggest judgments.
Exactly. We still buy into that crap.
Yeah.
We know it.
Yeah.
And I had a whole conversation with myself. I won, by the way. No, actually, I actually didn't even know where I landed on that. I had a whole conversation with myself around Botox.
Oh my God, I have this conversation with myself all the time.
I mean, and it's so like I feel strongly about this, right? It's bullshit, these things, and we're buying into it. And then I'm like,
but maybe one day.
Well, not one day. That day is coming down, honey. But it's more like, okay, I won't do it anymore because I don't believe in it. I don't believe my worth and my beauty.
Yeah. The amount of partners that wouldn't notice, honestly, I mean, that don't notice, to be honest.
And to be fair, like he's a very attentive man. So it's not like don't notice it because he's not attentive, but because that's not what he sees.
Yeah.
And still I stand there, and then every whatever X months have passed, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And I have this argument on why. If I don't believe in it, actually I believe that it's terrible, I still do it. Why does it make me feel better? Because then I still fit into that picture just a little better. It is such an impossible
standard.
Impossible. and here we are, like asking ourselves, how am I going to keep this momentum running and run the business in the way that I have? You won't. You'll not the momentum.
It'll ebb and flow.
But the way the business will flow will change because it's an expression of you. And that's one of the luxuries of it being your business. But how can I then also show up as a good partner, a good mother, a good friend, be this like sexy minx, whilst I also work out and eat healthy and make millions and make impact in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Something's got to give.
Well, something's got to give at certain times.
Well, it's what you choose to give with intention, I think, is where I sit with it.
Beautiful.
It's if you are with the area I'm in at the moment is I'm going home, I'm cooking, and then I'm working. And the thing that's going to give is spending that evening with my partner. But that is an intention that I have set. It's something I've communicated with him. It's something he understands is needed right now.
Yeah.
And I may not be spending more time with my friends, and I may not be doing this, but that'll switch.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Something's got to give, but I want it to be my choice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you do it with intention. I think one of like the people who, my coaching clients have heard this word throughout the years, but one of my favorite concepts is flussel. It's not a word. Made it up. Don't worry. Sometimes people, I'm like, have you heard of flussel? They're like, yeah. It's weird because I just made that up. But there's seasons for everything. And we have this idea, we live in a very kind of binary system, right or wrong, good or bad, work, life.
Yeah.
Even the concept of work-life balance implies that work is not part of your life.
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes no sense.
I agree.
Yeah, it makes
work is most of your life.
If you're doing something you care about, yes. I mean, even if you're not.
Even if you're not, it's still most of your life.
But it also puts it in a dichotomy of like, almost like work's bad.
Yeah.
Life's good. Like we work for the weekend. Like, there's nothing that grinds my gears more. And the concept of flussel is very simple. It's like, it's a spectrum. And on the one hand, you can see, I like my spectrums. On the one hand, you have flow. This is something that everyone is always talking about. I'm in flow and flow state. And the way I imagine flow is kind of like you're bobbing along on a unicorn floaty on a river, and it's very chill and it's very nice. And you see
just because that sounds lovely.
And you see some cool things, but there's no directionality. It's not like, I see that. Let me go do that.
Yeah.
Because you're just being carried by the river. You keep going, even if you want to get off. Like there's no intention, direction to it. On the other end of that spectrum, you have hustle. And we're all very quick to judge hustle. The hustle is dead. It's evil. And in prolonged states, as a recovering workaholic, I know it's not healthy, but nothing in an extremity is healthy. But hustle is like being on that same river, but rowing upstream. And you're rowing, and you'll get to your destination. You know, that's kind of where you have been. This is the season of that. You're rowing, you get there. But you probably won't go and explore what's beyond there because you're fucking exhausted by the time you get there. Now, neither of these extremes are super effective, and neither are good or bad. I think flussel is finding in each and every moment and season of your life where that lever is. It's not about balance being in the middle.
Yep.
This is a season where that lever is more towards the rowing upstream.
Exactly.
And that's okay because it's intentional.
Yeah.
And then there'll be times where that moves. And
I'm going to be using this one.
Here we go.
You watch me use the word flussel.
Exactly. Take it. I should ask my IP lawyer boyfriend to copyright it.
Yeah, totally.
Hold on. So you're saying you have been working like crazy, building the systems, trying to basically clone yourself in a business sense.
Yeah.
And how is that showing on, how are you taking care of yourself in that is actually what I want to ask.
I think since taking over the business again, I say that in a quotation mark sense, since running our own advertising, our own marketing, going back to our roots of what we're doing, why we're doing it, who our customer is, we've just, again, found our flow. There's hustle there, but we've found the direction again. And I think we lost that. And so even though it sounds all hustle, bustle, stress, money, like I still wake up and I want to go to work.
Yeah.
Like it's never ever a dreading to go to work. I've never felt that.
Yeah.
Like I love every single minute of being in that office, every email I send, every podcast, everything we do, I enjoy. And if I was bored, I think that would be how I'm not looking after myself. Because if I look at the past 6 years, whenever I'm my happiest, it's when I'm being challenged.
Right.
And so the last 2 months especially, I am educating myself on how to run Meta ads, Google ads, TikTok ads, optimizing our website, all of the above, getting ready for hopefully what will be the biggest Black Friday we've ever done.
Yeah.
And the biggest summer we've ever done. And so the last, 2 to 3 months have just been pure learning, education, drive, watching the things that we're implementing work. And that is like, it's so exciting. We come in every morning and we are not high-fivers, but we are high-fiving, and we are
we are now.
Every order that comes in, we're going, oh my God, another one?
Yeah.
Another one? Like,
and I think that's so important to hear. Like when you buy, someone gave, it was a talk around money mindset years ago. And someone said, I see every dollar I spend as an investment.
Yeah.
And not necessarily in an investment as like I spent this dollar and I'm expecting $2 to come back. But I'm either investing it in an experience or a product that will bring me joy or relief for something. Or I am very consciously investing in an entrepreneur. So when I want to get my morning coffee, instead of going to Starbucks, I go to the cafe that might be, a bit more expensive or a bit further out of the way.
Yeah.
But by looking at spending money as that kind of investment.
Where's it going?
Where is it going? I'm investing.
Who's getting something out of it?
Yeah. But that also, funnily enough, increases the the joy I get out of a product.
Exactly.
Because I'm like, because small business owners, are high-fiving.
And we get it. You know, like we understand it. And if I look at, you know, the products I buy, I usually know the founder, or I have watched them or listened to them on a podcast. Like I know the work that goes in behind it and the investment of time, money, education, and it starts to become a way that you start processing how you spend. Even how, I mean, I'm very lucky in terms I get gifted things a lot on socials. Even how I promote other people's businesses or communicate with them, you just become so aware that it's not just a big corporate. It's usually one person.
Sitting there doing a little victory dance.
Exactly. And that purchase is the best thing that's happening to their day. Even if it is amongst a greater amount of purchases, they still feel every single purchase to its core. I mean, I still do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it sounds ridiculous, but every time I hear the ding on my phone, which lately I'm like, oh, this is a lot. I still celebrate because something's working.
And also it is there's someone's life. There's a human on the other end of that ding on your phone that decided, hey, I'm going to invest in myself or in a friend or do this. And there's something about...
And invest in you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They've chosen you. There's a lot of other bigger brands out there, but they've chosen you. And that's something pretty cool.
Pretty special. And that actually ties in really beautifully because you've said... I think it was a past interview I've read of yours that, you know, one of your secrets to success is relationship building. And that makes it very personal. So I can imagine that when you lose a big stockist, for example, and your business model is based on relationship building, or someone leaves the team, that can feel very personal. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
So I've built the brand off being transparent from the get-go. Again, unintentionally. It was just I happened to be building my brand on social media back before people were doing that as a actual strategy. It was just me at my mum's house trying to figure this stuff out, and I just filmed doing it. And what that grew is showing behind the scenes of the business in all of its messy ways. And it's been a value of mine to continue that throughout how big we get. And the bigger you get, the more relationships you build, the bigger relationships you build, and you start to question how transparent you can be.
Oof, that's a big one.
Without either... I don't know, causing someone a little bit of doubt or maybe speaking a little bit too honestly about a situation. And we've had a lot of those this year, which I come into openly and again, think of our values, which is transparently. And a lot of the things that have happened this year, they're not negatives. A lot of them, when you actually look at the core, there's so many other things that have come into practice and come into play that have affected our timelines or our stock, or there's so much to it. And why not be open with the people that are wanting to do business with you about what's really going on rather than them making their own assumptions. And again, like I said, it's really hard to know where the boundary is of how much you share, especially when you're the founder, you're the business owner. And we share everything on stories on social media. We share everything in reels. And with our podcast, we came to that choice this year. Do we speak about what's really been going on with our business this year and share it? Because our customers listen to this. Our stockists listen to it. All of our stakeholders, everyone who's invested listens. How far do we take it? And we recorded the podcast very openly and we sat on it for a couple of weeks and we said, have we gone too far with what we've said? And ultimately we just said, no, like we've built this business, we've built the customer base, we've built this following because of how honest we've been.
This is your core value. And I believe...
Why would we stop?
Yeah, I also believe, and that's easier said than done, especially when it's like shit is hitting the fan, one thing after the other. But it's a great qualifier in the sense that I'm a big believer that something that's not meant for you will always miss you, and something that is will always find you in the most like ridiculous way. So when shit crumbles, and God, I can't tell you how many times in my life everything has seemed to collapse, and it always happens.
Always at once.
Oh my God.
It's true, things come in threes.
Oh, well, 30s sometimes. Like, I don't know. And I've watched things that I believed to be kind of the essence of me and my life and my safety crumble and then reassemble, trying to and crumble again. And you know, sometimes you get the gift of hindsight where you're like, actually, that was great. Sometimes you're not
Hindsight's
sure.
great.
But sometimes it needs to collapse to be recreated. Someone, actually a shaman I was speaking to said something around chaos. She was talking about the chaos of creation. And when you're feeling that chaos, when you're feeling that overwhelm, it is nothing more and nothing less than things have fallen apart and all the pieces are rearranging itself. And in order to create, there needs to be a degree of chaos.
We love chaos.
Sometimes. Some days. 2, the young girl who has a dream. Oh God, this is so dramatic. I have a dream. No, but who has an idea, who feels like I don't fit in that standard 9 to 5. There's more, that has that same jump out of the plane and build the parachute on the way down. What would you tell her? What advice would you give her / your younger self, I guess?
Yeah, that's a good one. Probably that your path to finding your career doesn't have to be a straight line like we're told. You don't have to go to uni to find your career and stay there long term. I mean, I had 5 or 6 jobs before going into Board George, moved overseas, moved back in with my parents, moved back out, moved back in. And it's all, you know, building your confidence and your education and your, you know, trying to figure out what you actually really want to spend your time doing.
Yeah.
And I think I wish I knew that throughout high school.
And do you know what you want to be when you grow up now?
No.
No, great. Thank you.
No. And, you know,
How good is that though?
I never knew. All my friends knew. I never knew. And that was a stress that I really felt in high school. Everyone asks you it as well, your parents' friends. So what are you going to do? What are you going to study? What work are you going to do? And you make up some bullshit of what you think the right answer is going to be, but I never knew.
Yeah.
And I would never have been able to say this, what I'm doing now. And in 10 years, it might not be this either.
No, or even if it is this, it will look completely different. And I think what really stood out for me in your share, which I think is important to hear, especially for the people who don't have haven't followed the traditional educational, this is what you do, and then you go to uni and then you do this, which is a model that, especially now in the age of AI, I believe is deeply flawed anyway. And it's interesting because knowledge used to be, you know, first it was what can you do? What can you create? And then there was the Industrial Revolution. So machines did it. So all of a sudden, shit, what are we going to do? And then we studied, and wisdom was like, knowledge is power. Yep. And we're in this information revolution with AI.
Everything's so accessible.
Everything is accessible, but also we're never going to outsmart supercomputers. So the next thing, what makes for successful people, is no longer being super educated in one way. It's being a generalist. And I love hearing you talk about how you've been teaching yourself how to do these ads and how to optimize and how this. And we were talking before how I'm like geeking out on building AI agents and all of that. And what I'm realizing is that old model of this is the pathway to success has become completely irrelevant.
Totally.
And you had the guts with a little nudge from time to time, a brutal nudge, to say, fuck that, and carve your own way from the beginning. But this is what it is. And you can learn and grow and expand in so many ways continuously, and you should.
I think what I'd add to it though is that you need to take a little bit more calculated risks. I think a few of the ones I took earlier on were just risks, but being smart about the risks that you're taking.
So what is a calculated risk?
Knowing where you're going to get the money from to start your business, or knowing if you're moving overseas, do you have enough money to get you through a certain time if you don't have a job? Or taking this holiday while I'm traveling, is this a smart move while I don't have employment to go back to? That sort of stuff. Being a little bit more smart about your decisions. You're young, you just make decisions off the whim, that's fair. Yeah. But even in business now, just being a little bit more calculated, looking at the pros and the cons, and still taking the risk, but knowing what the downfalls are going to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's a strength, is still being able to take those risks, because you take them every day. But if this doesn't go right, I should say, what and who is this going to affect? And is it going to be fixable? That's kind of what I wish I did a little bit more.
Yeah, I think, it comes down to the, your partner joke about long term and the short term. Yeah. I think when we're young, the only thing that exists is the now and the short term.
Yeah.
And here, and especially on the verge of motherhood, all of a sudden there's someone else to plan for. So
and they cost so much money.
This
is only the beginning.
I would tell you that it gets better, but that's a lie. It is fun though, and mine is now my sober driver, so that's helpful.
Yeah.
Rounding it off, because we can sit here forever. What is the legacy that, regardless of if it is in Bored George, if it is sunglasses or podcasts or bicycles, whatever you end up doing, the legacy you are trying to create through business in this world, where your little girl will look at and be like, that's my mom?
That's a good question. I've never thought of it. What is my legacy? I don't know if this has ever been the goal, but it's definitely not the goal now. I definitely don't want to be the biggest business in the world.
I know.
Like,
isn't it funny how that changed, where you're like, I want to be the best. I want to be, and you're like,
I still want to be the best in New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah, but also the best you.
But the best product, the best marketing, the best that we can be. But I don't want to be the biggest. So I think maybe the legacy is showing people that you can be content with something smaller, and doing it honestly and doing it transparently and building it while having fun. I think. Maybe, I don't know.
If
I think of how people know me, or it's always been the girl that's building the business, or like that's the Sunny's girl. Like, it's so intertwined in my personality. I think no matter where I go, this will always follow me, whether it succeeds or whether it fails. Let's hope for the success. Like, it's a part of my personality, and I know you should not be your business, but I've made it that way. It's just me. So the legacy I think I'm already leaving is probably people looking up to our marketing and looking up to what we've created in a really positive, fun way.
Yeah, and transparent. And I think like fun and joy, to me, are legitimate strategies for success. Whenever I have done things that don't feel aligned, but work right? Like this is the template. It works for her. But it's just not for example, the Instagram where we're talking about. Oh God, how many times have I tried? I own a freaking agency, for crying out loud. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
Don't enjoy it. People feel that. Where when I do stuff that I enjoy, whether it makes logical sense or not, and it's like legitimate business or not, it always converts.
Yeah.
So.
And and you've hit the nail on the head. And I know I sounded really second guessy when I said the word fun, but one of the biggest lessons we learned in the past 12 months is that when we're having fun as a business and we convey that through our social media and through our marketing, that's when we've had the biggest successes. Going to the festivals, going to 5 festivals over summer, and we just filmed ourselves having fun. That was the best content we've ever performed.
How have I not seen you there?
We've ever had. Like going to Australia and filming our trip there of us doing our thing. Most fun we've had, best performance. We've gained so much out of that. Our summer campaigns, all that sort of stuff now we base around what will we enjoy and how can we convey that through socials, just through us organically sharing our experience. So now a marketing trip for us is fun. And that's exactly next week. We're driving down to Whangamata to drive a Jeep and go and do a little tiki tour through the beaches, and that's our summer campaign. Oh my God, what do we want to do?
What do I do to come along? Do you need an intern? Do you need someone to carry your bag?
And it's just a different way of thinking about business now. Is people want to buy from people who are enjoying themselves and look like they're having fun. And genuinely, last summer was one of the funnest summers we've ever had, and we were known for the girls that were going to the festivals. So. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Well, you did, because on that note, that's true. This is it. It's the key to success, having fun. And that's easier said than done in certain moments, but there's always something to find that is working, and to find that gratitude, that joy, and just go hard on that, lean in on that. Okay, so I want to talk about fun. It's great. I was sitting behind my computer last night, midnight. Sorry, guys.
I love that you were doing that, because I apologized for sending all my stuff so late.
I was like, oh, you have no idea. I got an email oh, sorry, here's my stuff. I'm like, I'm
up as well.
It's one of those weeks. Anyway, so prepared the interview, and I did what I always do. Spend so much time in crafting the perfect questions, and did not look at my cards once. But I don't know, that's just my process, I guess. But I was I want to do something fun. And what a beautiful segue. I promise we didn't plan it that way. But I thought, how about we do a little round of Would You Rather, but slightly unhinged, powerhouse board George
Let's do
style.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather keep one mega stockist who makes you rich but miserable, or 50 tiny independents who adore you but barely pay the bills?
Oh, 50 tiny independents. 100%.
Would you rather be Instagram famous but broke, or quietly wealthy with 0 followers?
Oh, quietly wealthy. Who would pick the other one?
I don't know. There's people. There's people. It's not me, because for me it's Instagram famous. Let me just be clear. Would you rather launch the wrong product perfectly, or the perfect product chaotically?
Perfect product chaotically, and we have done that many times.
I love that answer. Would you rather burn out in 5 years building an empire, or spend 20 years building a business that just keeps the lights on?
Oh,
somewhere in the middle.
I think the burnout one.
Ooh, true. I mean, I did start by saying empire.
Yeah.
So there we go. Here we go. I mean, don't do it. I don't recommend it.
I'm not going to do it, but if it takes 5 years to build my empire rather than 20, then...
I mean, that's actually, I love the way you're looking at that. True. Would you rather be remembered for the sunglasses, or for the conversations you started with board to boss?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'd probably say sunglasses, only because I've put more time, effort, energy into that.
Right.
But there's so much more to the business than sunglasses, right?
Yeah. And that's what people don't see.
Yep.
Would you rather have a team that worships you but can't execute, or a team that executes flawlessly but never gives you credit?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Would you rather get copied by every competitor because you're leading, or be invisible but safe from imitation?
Well, I'd rather be copied. And we've seen it, and it feels kind of good.
There's something. Actually, I had a moment recently where, was being copied to the point where I'm like, do you want me to just send you my contact list? Because I can. Would make your life easier. And I had a moment of being annoyed, and then I'm like, what?
No,
yes, I'm doing something right.
It's a compliment. It's a serious compliment.
Highest form of flattery.
Yep.
Would you rather build a brand everyone loves, but you secretly hate running, or build a brand you love, but no one really gets?
Oh, now that's a hard one.
That's what she said.
Oh, I think I'd have to go for the second one, but only because life would be miserable.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm with you. I'm on the second one too. Would you rather take 1 million in investor cash and lose control, or bootstrap forever and sleep with one eye on the bank balance?
Oh, bootstrap.
Oh,
yeah, I'd hate to lose control, I think. Yeah. And I've heard too many stories.
Yeah, it's funny. It's actually, I'm writing a blog post or a Substack about that right now. The F word, the funding options, and how fucked they are.
Yep.
And how we're going to change that. Just watch this space.
Okay, wink, wink.
Watch this prize. Anyway, last one. Would you be rather seen as too much, or risk being forgettable?
This has probably changed in the past couple of years, but probably be seen as too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, story of my life.
I probably get told I'm too much all the time, just behind my back.
Yeah, and also, you know what? If I'm too much,
you're not my person.
Yeah, exactly. Go find less. Yeah. Honestly, I've contorted myself in many a pretzel, especially when moving here.
Yeah.
Because I moved here thinking, English speaking, looks like a duck, walks like a duck, probably a duck.
Nope.
Not a duck. Very different culturally.
Swan in a duck costume.
Yeah.
Actually, the other way around, I think. I don't know.
Anyway, something in someone else's costume. But I remember starting most conversations, especially in a business sense, kind of almost apologizing. And I'm like, I'm Dutch. And if I offend you and this, and please let me know. And just, tell me directly. And I realized that not only did that did not work, get really old really fast, but also it's not a qualifier.
Yeah.
If it's okay. I'm not tequila. Not everyone has to like me. It's fine.
That means you are tequila.
Not
everyone has to like you.
Oh yeah, that is true. Well, there you go. Okay. There we go. So
that's a good analogy though.
Exactly.
It's a good way.
Is it?
They're just not your people.
They're not my people, and I'm not theirs, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather surround myself with fewer people that not just are my people, but that I can be myself around, and that I know love, appreciate me, or like to collaborate with me for who I truly am and what I truly stand for.
Yeah.
Than for a very carefully curated version of me. And believe me,
because God, that would be exhausting.
Oh, I've done that for many years. It's a very effective, coping survival mechanism for a while. But it is exhausting, and it's empty because it's not you.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, tequila and some deep philosophical conversations. Georgia, thank you so much for coming. With so many things building and brewing and growing, I appreciate it so much. Everything will be in the show notes and in all the captions, but really quickly, if anyone listening right now wants to find you somewhere, wants to stalk you somewhere, where do they go?
So the business is boredgeorge.com. You could find that on Instagram as well, bored.george or georgia.patten, or the podcast is Bored to Boss Podcast. So you've got places. You've got places to go.
Places to go, people to see. And some amazing sunnies. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.